All right, so tell us about Zamir White. This is a name that's new to the mix, and once Drake is let go, I mean, the other two names are pedestrian. You sort of know what they are, and one former guy from New England, so that doesn't surprise me with McDaniels, but not a lot on Zamir White, who's really not being drafted in most leagues in the top 200 because people probably more familiar with the other names that you just mentioned. So, what can White be this season?
So I guess the reason why White is interesting is he was once upon a time, all the way back in 2019, he was the number one running back recruit in the nation. Goes to Georgia, running back you. I mean, it's like any running back that goes to Georgia ends up getting drafted, right? But his freshman season, he tears both of his ACLs simultaneously, tears his left and his right ACL, works his way back from that, rehabs his way back from that. He's fine in college, scores 25 touchdowns, shares the backfield with James Cook, who was the passing down back, kind of weirdly enough, in that Sony Michel role, talking about
Mm,
another guy like Josh Jacobs who comes to the NFL as a pass catching back and then never catches any passes. I would assume that what Zamir White, his best case scenario this season would be like Josh Jacobs is going to be Ramondre Stevenson and Zamir White would be Damian Harris, right? And that is if you think that McDaniels is telling the truth about the committee existing, that would kind of be the way that the committee would be split up. Again, and like I think Jacobs is probably going to start the season with a greater amount of work, and then the team is going to see, okay, is Abdullah playing well? Is Bolden playing well? Is Zamir White playing well? And if any of those guys do start to play well, they're going to play more and more. Kind of the approach that I think is prudent to take on the Raiders backfield is how we've always said about the Patriots backfield. They run the ball a lot. They run the ball well. So what do? You take the cheapest Patriots running back. Don't pay the massive price. Don't take Stephen Ridley in the fourth round. Don't take Damian Harris in the fifth round. You just wait for these guys to get cheaper, and then you take the cheapest ones. And if they work out, you start them. If you don't, you cut them and move on.
makes sense. So in the best ball format, who do you have the most of the Raiders running backs?
White for sure. White is going higher in the best ball formats. Those markets tend to be a little bit more attuned to the news, a little bit more reacting to whatever just happened. But I think he's a pretty solid pick, kind of 14th, 15th round. And I also think it's kind of one of those things where you should know early on. Like if White is a healthy scratch in week one, I think you can probably cut him because it means that they like Jacobs more than we were led to believe.